Butch was a bully. Why was he a bully? I don't know. I never wanted to get close enough to ask him. He liked to take lunch money, push you around, and say some really mean things. If the teacher caught him and sent him to the principal's office, he would just say, "I don't care." Butch was kicked off the baseball team for picking on Timmy. What did he say? That's right. I don't care. Butch the bully didn't care about anyone except Butch. The biggest problem was that everyone was afraid of Butch, so no one would report him. Report means telling a teacher or other adult when you see bullying. Another problem is we never try to help anyone he bullied. We sometimes even laugh when we see someone being teased. Because of that, Butch got away with bullying others. I must admit, I never step up to help someone being bullied. I always hope someone else would stand up to Butch the bully. There are many others here at school that make coming to school no fun. My teacher calls the feeling we have about being at school our school climate. Because of people like Butch, we spend more time being afraid than learning. That creates a not-so-great school climate. I can't learn when people make fun of me or say things that hurt my feelings. One day, a new student came to our class. Our teacher said, "This is our new student." She tried to say his name, but it was a very difficult name to pronounce. She sounded like she had a mouthful of marbles when she tried to say his name. The boy said, "Just call me Sammy." The teacher asked Sammy to tell us about himself. Sammy was short with very shiny black hair. It looked so clean. He had dark skin. He was from India. His words were spiced with a cool accent. Sammy said that it has been a dream of his family to come to America. He said he looks forward to being in this classroom. Sammy seemed like a very nice boy. I am sure that his family was dirt poor because he had very old clothes and shoes, but they were clean and neat. He had an old beat-up notebook. The one thing he had that was nice was a beautiful pen for writing. It was so beautiful with some kind of writing etched on it. I was curious about that. What was the writing on the pen? Well, the day finally ended. We were all headed home at last. Uh-oh. I saw Butch moving in on Sammy. "Hey, Sammy," Butch bellowed. "Hello, my name is Sammy." "I don't care," said Butch. "How about giving me all your money?" "Okay, I'll give you all my money." Sammy reached in his pockets and pulled them inside out. There was nothing in either pocket. Butch's big bear paw reached out and grabbed Sammy's shirt. "Do you think you're funny, you weasel?" "Yes, I'm very funny once you get to know me." Just then a teacher walked by. "Is there a problem, Butch?" Butch tried to look calm as he took his hands off of Sammy. Sammy spoke. "Oh, no problem. I'm just telling my new friend a joke." "Did you like it, Butch?" asked Sammy. "It was so funny," said Butch. "Okay, fine. Stay out of trouble," the teacher said as he walked away. "See ya, Butch," Sammy called as he walked away, leaving Butch standing there with a very confused look on his face. Wow! In a strange way, Sammy stood up to Butch the bully, but not the way I thought someone should. He didn't hit him or show fear. He just made a joke. I'm not sure if this is going to work with Butch. Either way, I was still afraid to report Butch to an adult. The next morning, when I went into class, all of the boards were clean and the bookshelves straightened up. Wow, it looked great. I saw that Butch the bully was not in class. Our teacher said, We need to thank Sammy for cleaning up. He said, "You don't need to thank me for doing the right thing. It was my honor." I have something to share with the class. May I? This is a very old book of poetry. My grandmother gave it to me. It has poems about, but before he could finish his sentence, the door burst open. It was Butch. His face had a mean look on it that was even scarier than usual. He made his way to the desk and slammed his books down on it. Butch broke the silence. "What are you looking at, jerk face?" he growled at Kim, a quiet little girl who quickly turned away. The teacher said, "Well, class, let's get back on track. Where were we? Oh, yes, Sammy was telling us about his book. Please continue." "It is a book of poetry about, well, why don't I just read one of the poems?" Sammy stood and began to read in a soothing voice that calmed the room. The calm was shattered by Butch's voice. "This poem smells like—" "Butch, don't say it!" The teacher stopped Butch before he could finish his sentence. Butch knocked the books off his desk. Before they even had time to hit the floor, Butch was out of his seat and out the door. The teacher buzzed the office to have them find Butch. Just before the end of the day bell, the assistant principal came in with Butch. Butch the bully was mad, and you can see it in his eyes. Sammy walked up to Butch. "What do you want, Shammy?" asked Butch. "I don't want anything, except for you to call me by my name, Sammy." "Okay, Shammy, when I'm pounding you, I'll try to remember that." "Here, I want you to have this," Sammy said, offering Butch his precious book. "Why do you want me to have this?" asked Butch. "Because I care for you." Butch slapped it from his hand. As it fell to the ground, Butch said, "I don't care." He turned and walked out of the class. I said to Sammy, "Why don't you just leave him alone?" "Because I care for Butch." I thought to myself, Sammy is weird. The next morning, we got up to a very bad storm. It was cold and ice was forming on the ground. Would we have a day off of school? No such luck. So off we went. As we were headed to class, I saw a group of people circled around something. Kids were pushing in to get a look. Now, I was just as curious as the rest of the crowd, so I squeezed my way in just in time to see Butch rear back his fist and take a huge swing at Sammy. What do you think happened next? Well, I don't know. What do you think happened? Let's talk about that. All right, let's get back to our story. All right, here we go. I saw Butch try to punch Sammy in the face. Sammy ducked just enough so that only part of the punch landed. Sammy fell down, and so did Butch. Butch slipped on that icy ground. His feet came out from under him. Butch fell with such a thud. His back and his head hit the cold, hard ground. Butch's breath escaped like air from a popped balloon. He was trying to breathe. Sammy got up, holding his eye. He moved toward Butch. "Are you okay?" asked Sammy. Butch was trying to form words as he tried to regain his breath. What, Butch, what? I'm gonna smash you," declared Butch. Just then some teachers came. Butch couldn't move. They called an ambulance for Butch. Turning to Butch, one of the teachers said, "You are in serious trouble for fighting." What do you think Butch said? That's right. "I don't care." Everyone said that Sammy was going to have Butch arrested by the police. Butch was in big trouble. At the end of the day, we all asked Sammy, "So what are you going to do? Are you going to have Butch arrested by the police?" "That would be great. We'd love to see him carted away in handcuffs by the cops. What will you do?" "I will be going to visit Butch in the hospital. Why don't you come too?" answered Sammy. Can you believe after Butch tried to punch Sammy that he would go visit him in the hospital? What would you do? Would you be so nice to someone that was so mean to you? Sammy was fumbling through his coat pocket. He pulled out that beautiful pen I had seen the other day. He tried to give it to me. I said, no thanks. I couldn't take what looked like his only valuable possession. But he made me take it. I put the pen in my pocket. As he walked away, I thought to ask, Sammy, this etching on the pen, what does it mean? He said, don't see with your eyes, see with your heart. What did he say? Don't see with your eyes, see with your heart. What on earth did he mean by that? What do you think that means? All weekend I thought about Sammy. He is the one who was so poor. His clothes, his shoes, his books are all very old and used. If anyone should be sad, it should be Sammy, yet he is so happy. I started looking around my room and my house. Look at all this stuff that we rarely use. So much money spent on junk to make us happy. I'm thinking that all these things are a waste. Monday morning came. It was cold yet clear. The wind was brisk and almost burned as it slapped my face. I made it into class just as the bell rang. Everyone was seated. Only 2 empty seats, mine and, oh joy, no Butch. This was shaping up to be a nice day. As I sat down, in walked Butch. Or should I say, in hobbled Butch. He went to the front of the room. He said, I have something to say. Let me speak to the class. Please? I thought, please? Coming out of Butch's mouth? Butch reached into his heavy brown coat. I was nervous. I think he has a weapon, screamed Eddie. Butch turned and said, hush up, Eddie, and sit down. With that, he pulled out a book. Wait a minute. That was Sammy's poetry book. Butch fumbled through the pages and finally settled on one in particular. He began to read, they called me things that cut me deep, but I don't care. The things I saw might make you weep, but I don't care. They stripped me of all the things I owned, but I don't care. I saw others lose, and so they moaned, but I don't care. I'm so poor with little to eat, but I don't care. I have no shoes to cover my feet, but I don't care. But if I ever lost a friend like you, as he looked at Sammy, he said, I would surely care. Butch closed the book and began to speak. I really wanted to hate Sammy. You know, hating is easy. The problem is, I never met someone like Sammy. The more I hated, the more he loved. He was the only one to come see me in the hospital. He read from his book. He's weird, but there's something different, something special about him that makes you feel good. I learned a lot of things that day. If we really care for someone and treat them with love, we can help them change. I felt around in my coat. Aha! Here it is, Sammy's pen. The writing on the pen held the answer. Don't see with your eyes, see with your heart. Maybe he means don't see with just your eyes, see with your heart as well. I hope to learn to see with a heart like Sammy's, a heart filled with caring and love.